Okay, today for the FJ Cruiser is going to be a diff drop kit. I basically have a 3-inch lift, and the axles are kind of canted at an angle, putting a lot of strain, well, not a lot of strain, but some strain on the universal joints on the front end. And I'll show you that in a minute here. So this is supposed to drop it down about this much, and that'll take some of the angle out of it. Again, we're not changing the geometry, we're not changing any of the adjustments. All we're doing is taking the diff, dropping it down so it lowers the axle to decrease the amount of angle it has. I like this kit from American Automotive because they give you the choice of having these in shiny silver if you want, or black, and I chose the black so it doesn't stick out. I've already got the Loctite. I'm using high strength there. That goes up through here, through the brackets for the diff. These are just extra long. I'm using low strength Loctite on those. And that's the extensions along with these for a couple of the skid plates. And what I'm going to do so I don't have to fight it, when I have the skid plates off, I'm going to clean up the area that this is going to go on. And I'm going to use this stuff right here, Lexel. I like this one because it's a sealant, but it's also a really tough adhesive, more so than any other company. So I like to use the Lexel. Again, it's just personal preference. For this, we're going to need 22 for a metric. I didn't have one in the chrome, and so I do have a bunch of impacts. So I got a 22 here. That'll be for the bottom of the factory bolt. Top will be a 19. I got a 19 wrench to hold it, and later on for these here, that's a number 11. So let's go ahead and take a look underneath the vehicle. So under here, what I'm going to have to take off is this filler panel that I made. It utilizes just the bolts that are already in it, along with down here. So I'll have to take these out because this has to come off, and I guess they're saying the aft little rock panel there has to come off also to expose everything I need to work on. So the first thing I'll do is I'll take this off. I like this because between the bumper and the factory rock guard, there's a big opening in here, and it allows rocks and sticks to get up there. So utilizing this, I think it's about 1/8 inch or 3/16 inch piece of ABS. I made a template here out of cardboard. It's actually on another video that's on my page. Anyway, so that bolts in, and it's hard. I mean, it's really tough. It's not strong enough to climb over rocks or boulders, which I don't do, but at least it's good enough to keep any rocks and sticks and stuff like that from flicking up in there. So that'll come off, this will come off, and then that one back there will come off. Take out the bolts, and in the front of this there's some little hooks, and you have to pull it forward and down in order to get it out. So I'm not going to bore you with that, but I'll go ahead and take that off. So this is basically what that filler plate looks like. I heated up with a torch, got it pliable, put this slight bend in it. Again, cardboard template, traced it, went ahead and cut the ABS plastic out. So that works out pretty good. This one here, a little bit of a mess. I'll probably try to clean this up and get some rust neutralizer and stuff on here, just to keep the rust from spreading. It's not too bad a shape. I don't like what that looks like in there. It's kind of a mess. Kind of a stupid design to have a cup right here that can collect water and hold it, and of course cause rust. But other than that, it's not too bad. It's built pretty good from the factory. Something to remember when you take this out, you need to take the back, of course take the 4 bolts out, and then let this thing hang down in order to clear this and then this little keyway here. Alright, so this area here is what I need to lower and get the spacer in here. This bolt here gets replaced, and there's the nut on top. I'll reuse any type of washers, and I don't know if that's a little rubber grommet type thing that's on there, but I'll take those off. Also, this big flat washer here, you're going to want to reuse that and stuff. I'll need to take this completely off because I need to get my jack underneath the diff to support it, and then I can go ahead and lower it to add the space and get the new stuff in. Alright, so here's the diff here. I'm going to go ahead and support the jack with a pad right about here to maintain the height for now while I'll loosen these up, and then I'll drop this just a little bit to get those spacers in, and I'll get this replaced. Oil pan's over here. This is that valve. I have a video on that. You can replace the oil drain plug with an oil drain valve, which makes it really nice. And because this is coming down, it'll be the back of this front skid plate where the spacers go, and the front of the rear skid plate, and that's where those spacers will go there. And again, I'm going to actually glue them to the actual rock guards so that they're in place, and that way I don't have to sit there and fiddle with them and all that stuff. So let's get this supported, get this lowered. I think before I do anything, I'm just going to crack these, get them slightly loose, and then I'll go ahead and support, and then I'll go ahead and take them out. The differential supported by the jack, I like this little rubber pad so it doesn't mar up the steel. This bolt is out. I just need to get this one out here, lower it down, get the spacers in, get the bolts in, and then get those tightened up. And they're talking about 90 foot-pounds, well, 80 to 90, so I'll probably do it 85, maybe 90 foot-pounds. Okay, so that's lowered right there. That's where the spacers will go ahead and go in here. Get that all tightened up. Same thing on this side. Maybe I'll lower it just a smidge more. Okay, that's lowered down. So now we get the bolts in, get that tightened up and torqued, and then we'll work on putting the rest of the shield together. Okay, that's the spacers there. Got this snugged up. I didn't want to use the factory bolts. I just happen to have some nylon bolts, the ones that have the locking, along with thread locker, those new washers. The spacers are in. You can see the actual shaft right now is virtually straight. Before it was at an angle. I just want to take the kind of the strain off the universal joints. So those are all set now. I just need to go ahead and get my torque wrench, set it for 90, jump back and forth, give these a good torque, and then actually at this point here I should be able to lower the jack. There we go, and nothing's moving. Okay, now we got the torque wrench here set for 85. Since it's 85 to 90, we'll go ahead and give those a torque. Okay, torque down to 85 foot-pounds, which is pretty darn tight. It's not going anywhere. I'll show you what I do with the rock guards, and then we'll get those on. Alright, it is the spacers there. I said I use that RTV adhesive sealant. And it's got the spacers because the bolt holes are right here. And of course we've now lowered that, and we don't want this hitting it. And you can see how the spacers are going to allow clearance for the lower diff because of those spacers. So your spacers on there, spacer here, everything's going to clear. And this has turned out to be a fun little project.